Hello, the internet, and welcome back to the live stream. It is Saturday, the 28th of March, 2020, and today I'll be live for 96 minutes. 96. I'm going to repeat myself each time like that, 96, because the number is getting larger. Surprisingly, or not surprisingly, it's getting larger by the minute each freaking week. It's nice to have you all here on the YouTube. I am wearing the same shirt as last week, and my props background setup is not working again. Look at that. That's a pause. You see what you're seeing right there, folks? That is my scene as I was setting up. I don't understand why it's paused. It's like it's taken a snapshot of it. That is my cut to the snapshot of what the stream looked like before I began. So we're not going to cut back to that unless I can wangle it and fix it throughout the show. I don't know why it does that. It did it last week. It doesn't do it on DLive at all. In fact, I've never seen that before. It's only here on YouTube. And again, that's a reason why I get nervous coming out here on YouTube on these streams, because it's almost like you never know what's going to happen. I don't know why. I'm using OBS. I'm using virtually the same. Well, everything is the whole thing's the same. But for some reason, here on YouTube, that angle just freezes. I don't know if I'm doing something different. If I go here and have a look at it, it's just so strange that it's still there. It's just completely stuck. So we're just not going to have it today. That's cool. I mean, as long as we get the other scenes, and as long as we can get into the chit chat, which is what we do on the live stream, have the conversation with you beautiful people, of which there are a few of you up there in the chat nice and early. Let's go right back to the freaking top. Mindy's channel. Hello, the Benon. Hello, the Mindy. We're talking amongst ourselves there. She's asking me about any headaches. I did have some headaches going down last couple of days. I felt potentially I could have been picking up the coronavirus and putting it down almost at the same time, if you like. I feel like I might have got it and then I got better. But we can talk about that as we move into the discussion. I want to talk around the coronavirus, if you like, today on the YouTube. We've talked extensively about it on the DLive. Did I mention I've got a DLive channel, folks? There's a link in the chit chat right now if you want to go over and support me on DLive. That's in the chit chat. Mindy asks, is Poopsie going to be around today? Now, she was in here. Ironically, now that light's flickering. Shit, what else could go wrong here? Well, hang on. Are we far enough in for me to cuss? Can I say shit on YouTube and not get demonetized? Can I even put a stream up with the stream title? What's the stream title here? The coronavirus, COVID-19. Can I even say that without the risk of getting demonetized? Now, here's the thing, and this was talked about in the chat a little while ago. On YouTube, it's kind of difficult to be a news channel. Now, I'm not saying I'm turning into a news channel at all, but on this stream, we're actually engaging the news and the content, but it's very difficult here on YouTube to do that without the risk of getting dinged. Now, at this point, when this stream goes out, monetization is switched off anyway. I don't want to have ads rolling in front of a live stream. That's something Mark Ensby taught me, of all people, to give me some advice that I'm still carrying on. He said you shouldn't have ads on a live stream. Turn them on after you finish the live stream and you got the replay, but not during the stream. So there's no ads on here right now, so it's not going to annoy you. But the risk is YouTube don't just ding you with no ads. They can limit where your live stream gets broadcast to. So if we started broadcasting, let's just say we were going to go and have a look at the CNN report from last night on the COVID virus in Germany, for instance, and we started playing that CNN report. Well, they would have the algorithm to check on a live stream that that's happening, and they block my stream from certain territories. So all of a sudden, perhaps for Perd Beer in Germany, it might just go blank and say this stream is not available in your area, and that's happening live. That's not like everyone saw it when it went live and then the algorithm kicked in afterwards and checked the replay and blocked it. No. That happens as you go live. I get notification. Well, I wouldn't see it because I've never logged into that Gmail account. But if I was to log into my generic Gmail account that I use to set up my YouTube channel, I would have a notification saying there, CNN or whoever it is, their broadcasting rights owners blocked your live feed in this, and this territory and region. Your channel hasn't been compromised, but your live ability to broadcast that stream in that area is being breached. Blah, blah, blah. And that's why I don't have the facilities such as like Philip DeFranco or bloody, even like some of the bigger commentary channels like Leon Lush and like some of those guys. They'd have a direct contact with YouTube. They could just drop them a tweet or an email or even call them and say, hey, what's going on here? I don't have that. And so the very little money that I earn from any advertising on my channel, I've kind of got to hang on to that with both hands, right? Otherwise, it's not worth doing it at all. That's why on DLive, it's a hell of a different show. Like on DLive, we can take links and we can go and explore and we can come back and we can watch content, we can criticize it, we can critique it, we can have the social commentary. But here on YouTube, I know you're meant to be able to have your voice and this and that, but it's very, very difficult. And is it worth it at this low end level where I'm at? No, it's not. So that's why we're not going to do it. That's why this is going to be an interesting stream. That's why I'm opening up the call-in line. We're going to talk. If you want to have a conversation about this, we're going to talk about it, because that way we definitely can't get dinged if we're having our own discussion. But we can. It's kind of strange. I can go and look at the news and I can read you the news, but as soon as I click play on a video, bam, algorithmical click in. Now, ironically, Poopsie was going to be in here. She was here when I was setting my stream up, and she might have even been on that background scene with me before. I don't know. I don't know if you can see her in this. If I cut back to that, is she gonna be in this? You might see her pausing here, I think. No one's in the room. Look at that. Nobody's even in the room. Well, but folks, that's what I would be looking at if I was to be sitting here without the stream rolling. That's how I'd be. And I'd be without a shirt as well, because it's usually warm in here. Up in the chit chat, Mindy's channel. Hi, Paula. Paula is Perd Beer. Now, there was a discussion there about that. I always thought Paula was Perd Beer, and I knew that. Well, I connected those dots myself, but I also connected it thinking that you're Paul S. I think Paula, Paul S, and Perd Beer is all the same person. That's what I think. Now, you say you're not, but I always knew Paula and Perd Beer were the same person. But I also think Paul S is in there as well in the mix. But you deny it? That's cool. That's cool. We'll work it out sometime, somehow. I've never seen Paul S and either Paula or Perd Beer at the same time. That's what gets me. It's like, whenever Superman's around, that guy with the glasses seems to disappear. So that's my speculation here, folks. Mindy, you're working night shift at the moment, but next week she'll be off with full paid administrative leave. Interesting. Is that coronavirus related? They're ramping back on staff? Perd Beer, I have a friend whose wife kicked him out of home. She is a nurse. She's an ER nurse. Interesting. Mindy said, I'd confuse myself if I had that many titles. Me too. I confuse myself with Benon, Julius, William, Otto, Kirpsch. I got 5 names. That's enough confusion in my life, is it not? Plus gives a minute, Gam, minutes, gives, the Mr. Negative. I get that too. Although I haven't been getting that. It's funny, since my friends departed, those people, I don't get the Mr. Negative. In fact, I get the opposite of that. I get Mr. Positive. I get people saying, dude, you're the most positive person we know on DLive or on YouTube. Where did you ever get the Mr. Negative? It's funny, that only came from those people. That's kind of you. Those people are gone, and that thing's gone as well. It's kind of interesting. Mindy says a guy I've been seeing keeps wanting to come over, and I tell him no, we're social distancing. And I said social dating and social distancing, but I actually put the word stance. I meant distancing would certainly be tricky. Yeah, Mindy, dating. I mean, dating at this point in history would be extremely difficult. Extremely difficult because I mean, I'm up in Sydney and there's plenty more people on Tinder. I'll swipe right on Tinder in Culburra and I see the same people over and over again. And then the pool of people is so little and you get to the end super quick. But up in Sydney, you just keep going to the right, 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 to the right. And basically you run out of swipes by the time you run out of swipes before you run out of people. But I'm amazed at how many people are still on Tinder trying to hook up. It's like, even if I did match with someone, I'd be like, well, it's nice to match with you. I'm not going to come and see you. It's kind of a strange time to be dating. And this family, this woman that kicked out her husband, Perd Beer Nose, has no issues, just the corona. I mean, that's a fair enough stance from a partner to say, look, you're going to have to split for a while. If we want to maintain our relationship and our livelihood and our lives, you're going to have to take off for a little while. Put your Superman suit on and Perd Beer out of here. Mindy says, I don't really understand people's concerns about bringing the virus home, unless, of course, they have their parent at home with them or an older. I mean, yeah, that's a fair point because realistically, a lot of people probably have this disease or this virus and don't even know that they've got it. So they bring it home, and if you've got like healthy people with strong immunity and no one with a compromised immuno system.
Money's too tight.
Who did that?
Steak.
Adrian Banks did
Morning
that.
givers.
Adrian. Morning givers. Thank you for the $5.49, Adrian. Cheers, my friend. Much appreciation, dude. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you. So when I hear a super chat like that, it's like, yes, demonetization. Take that, YouTube. We don't need your stinking ad roll. Thank you very much. That's nice, Adrian. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, and if you've got no one with a compromised immunosystem and you have the disease or you have the virus, the chances are no one else is going to get ill from it. I might have had it this week. It might have been a mild case that I had. I had chronic headaches and I was laying on the bed a lot, relaxing. And I didn't have a hangover. And by the way, if anybody watched my D-Live last night, I had that much Jack out of the bottle, out of the decanter, the Sin Master decanter. I had that much Jack. I had a beer and I had a gin. And you see me this morning, no hangover, nothing. I haven't even had a sip out of my water yet. And yes, Tuesday and Wednesday, I had no alcohol the nights before, and I woke up with a chronic, what I'd regard as a hangover, headache. Feel like I'm going to chuck my guts up, had to lay down horizontal the whole time, and I hadn't had any drinks. So did I have a mild case of the coronavirus and kicked it? The real concern is if I did, I probably handed it on to my mother, and she is an elderly woman, but she shows no signs, and she was up last night charging the gin, and she's fine. Yeah, but that's the nature of this virus, and that's kind of where we kind of want to jump off that point to enter another discussion about the virus, but I feel like we'll do that as we roll into the stream, right? We got 96 minutes here, folks. We can take our freaking time. We can engage the chat. We can talk to the lovely people in the chit chat, and we can talk about the issues as well. But Mindy being a front person in the health game and working with people that have this virus, she definitely knows, and she is onto it. If you want to ask any advice, Mindy is the person to ask. I'm like the relay from whatever Mindy says. I just kind of like, in fact, Mindy, you could hit me up for demonetization for just rerunning your material, right? That's kind of what I'm broadcasting your material. Perd Beer says supermarkets in Berlin are operating like nightclubs, one in, one out. Did you guys see the tweet? Someone put out a tweet with the toilet roll for sale from a supermarket, and the supermarket had said one toilet roll $1.20, more than one $8 per roll, and they're like doing that so that no one bulk buys. So you can buy one for the normal price, but if you want to buy more than one, you're going to pay $8 per roll, and no one's buying them, obviously. And there I said it to Mindy. A lot of people self-cure, isn't that right, Mindy? And she said, yeah. How many people are allowed in the grocery store at once? That's a good question. I think it's just a couple at a time, right? Can they test you if you have? Can they test you if you had it once it's completely left your body? Says Perdbeer. They can test for. I think they can test at any point, can't they? Actually, that's one thing I don't really understand. Why is the testing so difficult? It's like Australia in particular doesn't have enough testing facilities, and like most places, that's the vibe we're hearing. Not enough testing facilities. Why is it so difficult to test? 5 people at a time, says Perdbeer. There you go. One of the most promising research areas is trying to collect the white blood cells from people who have antibodies. Interesting. Perdbeer, I'm also thinking I had it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I definitely had the symptom of an... I had trouble doing this last night on the D Live. I showed the symptoms of what it looks like in a young person. Now, I'm 44. I'm not young. I'm sliding myself into that category of young, but I'm not young. But I did have the symptoms that they commonly refer to as only showing in young people. So, hallelujah, I'm 44 and that's considered young? What? That's considered old. There are some really interesting videos this week on YouTube where Bill Gates is being interviewed about all the developments. The testing area for my area in Berlin is very close to my home, but I'm scared if I didn't have it, then I could pick it up there. That's very true. Mindy's channel, Bill Gates is a really big connector between different sectors. He knows all the big research chairs of the very prominent universities and private pharmaceutical companies. I mean, again, that's the kind of stuff that I would say, dump a link in the chit chat and we'll go and check it out. But if I was to watch that here, it would just be dinged. It's a real shame, isn't it? It's a real shame that that's how YouTube operates these days, that we don't feel safe enough to watch content and I would be critiquing it, I'd be criticizing it, I'd be commenting it, I'd be transforming it, which is one of the key words that you always read in how to not get copyright infringed. You have to have the content be transformative. You can't just do a Music Man on D Live and put up full screen whatever you're watching and walk away for 20 minutes and come back. That's not transformative, that's rebroadcasting. But if you've got, I'd have it in a small window here and I'd have me down below talking about it with the comments. That used to be okay, but you see it more and more. People like H3H3, they get dinged all the time and they got to go and fight it after the fact. Now, we've already discussed this, but someone as big as H3H3, they can fight it after the fact and still earn enough money off it. But me, I'm such a small player here. I don't have any... What goes out and get this live stream after the fact might get 100 views max. I need to take that 0.4 cents that I get from YouTube. I can't let them take it back. I'm not gonna let them take it back. I'm not gonna let them. But we can definitely do that on D Live. We'll go across to the D Live later on, and we'll have a good looky poo. We'll have a good looksy poo on the YouTube machine, and I'll show the video of the Corona Bogans. There's Corona Bogans out there. I didn't know that, but we can definitely do that. We could even get into the science aspect of it a little, as people found that interesting. The science of the virus, yeah. I mean, I'm up for that. And then I said I've got 10 minutes. I'll see you guys in 10. Let me get the video for you. Fred Parry up in the chit chat. Fredski, how do you do, man? Good to have you, Fred. Woo woo. How is everyone? Nice to see you, buddy. Did the link work? Oh, so Perdbeer put a link in my chat and it didn't even come up? Huh. Wow, no, it didn't work, Perdbeer. But either way, we wouldn't be clicking it. But I'm interested to see that didn't even show up. No link seen, says Mindy. Very strange. Man charged after sick prank. I did see a stupid video of a YouTuber licking articles on a supermarket shelf, and I saw someone licking a toilet seat. I mean, come on. You wouldn't even do that if there wasn't a virus. Or would you? If you want to go viral on YouTube, you probably would do that, Or make 1400 shark videos. It's up to you to decide how you take that, but... Interestingly, I was looking at Jay's channel last night. Actually, I searched... we could do this. I searched him on YouTube, and literally 1 year ago, he has a video entitled my final chapter on the Rosie saga, and then in the description it says this will be the final installment of the Rosie the Shark episode, And that's a year ago. And after that, there's been seven more videos. Yet I'm the guy in the wrong for critiquing that. Anyway, we've all seen what he did this week. Wow. Did we all see what he did this week? Wow, did we all? Holy shit. Mallorca has shut down pretty much everything except shops. I'm hoping this is going to stop soon. Fred, is that where you're at, Fred? You're living in Mallorca and you surf and mountain bike. Yeah, hell yeah. Very cool. Mindy's getting close to 100 subscribers over on YouTube. I mean, here on YouTube. I forgot where I was. Well, that's really rad, Mindy. I've got work-related videos I'll be uploading soon. Work-related content. Interesting. Oh, shit. My chat just jumped up. Bam, bam. I go on vacation, make more of those videos. It's Friday for Fred, Friday evening for Mindy, Saturday morning here in Australia, folks. Chad Armstrong up in the chit chat. Chadsky! How you going, man? Thanks, dude. Thanks for swinging back, man. Good to see you, Chad. Yes, you just can't post any sexual content. On YouTube, no, that's not true at all. You can't post a lot of things on here anymore. Matthew Trakinski's up in the chit chat. Matthew, how do you do, dude? Wow, I'm so slow in the chat to get to the bottom, but it's so rewarding when I do get there because all the crew are up there, down there, in there, on there, sideways. What? Good to see you, Matthew. Tim Arskog up in the house. Tim, hi kids. Sorry I'm late. Had to screen myself before signing on. Classic. Honey, Perd's answering. You're not Paul S. Okay, I only have a single account. Okay, well I could have got it wrong, but if you're telling us you're not, but then again, you did tell us you weren't Paula as well. You said those exact words about Paula. I remember saying, Perd Beer, you're Paula, aren't you? I got you. And you're like, no, I'm not. No, it's not me. I was like, okay, fuck. How far into the stream are we? I just swore. 20 minutes in, that's enough time to swear, right? And I caught you on that one. And you said, no, I'm not. And now you're saying the exact same thing about Paul S. So you can see why I might not believe you at this point. Tim says, at least you're not negative about no longer being called Mr. Negative, which is a positive. Yes, that's pretty cool. I could whinge about that. I could say, I used to like being called Mr. Negative, you know? Tim, what the hell, man? That's like so many things working in its weird little favor there. At least you're not negative about not, which is negative. So at least you're not negative. So that's a positive, a double negative, about not being called negative, which is a positive. Ooh, Obliques Magnet Fishing. God, good morning, Obliques Magnet Fishing. What a great handle for a channel. Magnet Fishing. You catch fish with a magnet? Wow. Wow. How do you do that? Magnet Fishing. Interesting, dude. What do? You magnet fishing, not bait fishing. You don't put food on the fish hook. You put a magnet? What the heck? Matthew, I'm up at a property about to put some posts up for a cow pen. I'll take some pics and post them on Discord later. Cool, Matt. That'd be great, dude. Yeah, please do. And we'll jump on the Discord and grab them for the D-Live ski. Mindy's hi Obliques. Mindy, awesome. Hello, Perd Beer. Happy Canadian up in the chit chat. All the way from Ontario, Burlington, Canada. Good to see you, man. I really wish I had a Darth Vader costume complete with the sound effects matching for breathing. I'd go ride public transport, especially the trains. Sitting in the train like that. There'd be no one around though. You'd be by yourself doing that. It's midnight over here in the Netherlands. Interesting. Midnight. Adrian Banks, I had 9 jacks last night. Really? I had 3. I had 3. 2 small. I had 2 large ones. 3 regular size. and I finished it. I'm loving the Benny flat as a backdrop. Well, have a look at this, Happy Canadian. This is my backdrop today, but unfortunately it's not live. This scene that you're about to see is the scene as I was beginning my stream. So that's my backdrop, but it's not a live scene. As you can see, I'm in here and I'm waving my hands like I just don't care, and you're not seeing anything, but now you will. But I don't know why with the GoPro, and I don't know. Camlink 4K Elgato. I don't understand why sometimes it works and other times it just refuses. I'd hate to be relying on the Camlink as my only camera input. The Magewell 4K HDMI 3.0, not a problem ever. No problem with it. I've never had an issue with it. The Camlink 4K, constant issues. Like this. It's at 9 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'm loving the Benny flat. Yeah. Sylvia isn't that elderly, Benon. Growl, growl. Growl, growl. Well, what do you say when 78? 78's kind of elderly. Put on a Grim Reaper costume and go door knocking. Shit. Copy striking, Perd Beer. Missouri, Mindy's channel. Yeah, Chad, I saw an ad for an ice cream shop here in the States offering a roll of toilet paper with orders of 15 or more. 50, so you spend $15 or more on ice cream and they'll give you a roll of toilet paper? Wow. Wow. I mean, aren't we past that thing with toilet paper being out of supply? Aren't we past that? Is toilet paper still missing in places? I feel like it was big in Australia where people were like stocking up on toilet paper. But then again, that's our prime minister. Like the country's leader has said the contradictory things so many times. He said one day, he said, I don't want to see this hoarding. This is un-Australian. You guys that are going in and bulk buying and hoarding things, it's got to stop. It has to stop. It's un-Australian. I don't want to see it. You're making a disgrace of everybody. It's not how we do things in this country. He was very forceful about it, like he's talking to a child. And then the next press release, he says, we're putting practices into measure that may last for 6 months. So you need to prepare yourself for 6 months worth of this. And I was like, well, isn't that what people are doing by hoarding and stocking up? That is preparing themselves for 6 months. So what? It's not okay to prepare yourself, or it is okay? Because right there's two mixed messages, right? You're sending out the opposite signal than what you sent out the other day. And you're making people feel guilty for doing what you said they should do. I saw a Facebook post where someone put up that video of a guy literally stacking shelves with some kind of product, like it looked like a baby formula or something. He was putting them on the shelf in a Woolworths, which is an Aussie supermarket, kind of like Trader Joe's or something. He was putting these things on the shelves, and literally as he was putting them on the shelf, a woman was taking them off the shelf and putting them in a bag. So he's putting one on the shelf, she's taking it off the shelf. He's putting one on the shelf, she's taking it off the shelf, putting them in the bag. And someone was like, you got to ban this, can't have these people doing this. And I was like, isn't this just a case of supply versus demand? Isn't that what we're seeing here? There is a greater demand than there is a supply. If you don't sell a product to the public, you don't have a business. So the person stacking the shelf, he's the messenger. You can't be upset with them. And I'm not upset with anybody. I'm just saying they're stacking the shelves because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell that product. Now, in times of need, the demand for that product is going to increase. Hence the woman bulk buying. People were flaming her like, she shouldn't be allowed to take that many. It's like, well, aren't we in a time when demand exceeds supply? Isn't that what we're seeing here? And I was always told as a kid when I grew up in the Boy Scouts to be prepared. It was written on your freaking toggle, the little thing that you put around your scarf. Be prepared. That's kind of what that woman is. She is being prepared. In fact, they're the smart ones, right? They're the ones that'll have, when we're still in lockdown 6 months from now and we haven't got a single supermarket to go and get food from, they've got food. They're the ones that will be like, well, you guys were the smart ones. People get flamed for that. I'm like, they're being prepared. Couple of people in a store at a time, in all times in Ontario, Canada. Yep, that makes sense. Happy Canadian, at a gas station, it's only one car at a time to fill up. That makes sense too. Obliques, you are young. I'm 60. Well, thank you. I mean, that's not far off from where I'm at, if I'm if I'm being honest. Adrian, I watch a YouTube dude called Primal Outdoors. His self-isolation clip yesterday looked amazing. I've seen Primal Outdoors. It's a great channel. No talking, hey. No talking. Ben on super young. I'm 50. 44 ain't much younger than 50, Mindy, I gotta tell you. They're both very, very close to each other. Patrick! Hello, Patrick. Hello, Patrick. Good to see you. How about a special edition of JD to mark the tumultuous era we're experiencing? Yes, that's what they should be doing. Definitely. They should definitely do that. I don't know if they're going to do it, but they should. Mindy says, good idea. The Happy Canadian, the guy is obsessed with that shark. That's Jay Boston. Yeah, I can't believe he's still sucking, milking, squeezing the teeth of that dead shark. It's incredible. The guy has to take an award for the most milked YouTube content. People were making fidget spinner videos. I reckon if Jay got on that, he'd still be doing fidget spinner videos, right? He'd still be milking that shit, just like he's milking the shark. Have you seen what Richie from Boston has shown in his video? 5G has to do with it, breaks your health, so Corona do the rest. I got no time for that conspiracy. We've Obliques, we've gone down that route on the D-Live, on my D-Live channel. Did I mention I've got a D-Live channel, folks? It's linked in the chit chat right now if you want to go over there and support me on streams daily. On D-Live, we had a guy that called up and said, the coronavirus is a hoax, it's a scam, doesn't exist. All it is a idle threat to keep you, me, and everybody else in our houses so that the government can install 5G antennas in our local area. And then once they've installed the 5G, at the flick of a switch, they can turn that on and that broadcasts over millimeter sine waves. And those sine waves are actually a weapon that the government is going to use against us in a war that we don't even know we're participating in. Now, there's a whole bunch of things in there that make no sense, and I can unravel it. And we're not going to discuss it too detailed here, but I'll quickly highlight my points because you've brought it up. You said, have you seen what Richie from Boston has shown in his videos? 5G breaks your health, so the corona does. So, first of all, and this is my key point, the person saying this was like, kept using the word the government. And I was like, I kept saying, which government? Which government? And he'd be like, the US government. And I'd be like, okay, that's your government. What about, this is worldwide. This is a pandemic. This is happening to the whole planet. So are you telling me every single government in every single country is somehow miraculously all working together in harmony for the first time in history, for the first time in the planetary history of this Earth, this flat disc or this globe we live on? Every government is working harmoniously together. So that doesn't make any sense. We know governments don't work that way. One government does one thing, the other does the other thing, then they have a fight about it, then there's a war, then there's sanctions. We never work together, ever. But this guy kept saying, the government. I'm like, hold up, man, go back. Which government? All of them. Okay, now that's wrong, obviously. The second thing is, if this is a war, which they use these terms, they're going to flick this switch on and suddenly we'll go to war using these 5G modems. If that is a war, flicking a switch, turning on a modem that's in every single house, every single person will be on 5G, just like every single person is on 4G here. Every single person will be on 5G. You flick a switch that sends out these millimeter sine waves that kills us, that's not an act of war. That's genocide. That's mass execution of people. Now, that's not a war. So if you say we're in a war and they're arming themselves with 5G millimeter sine waves, it's not a war. Why would they want to kill a mass entire population in one flick of a switch? Turn the 5G on, bam, you're all dead. Why would they want to do that? It doesn't make any sense. And that's why it's a badly concocted conspiracy theory. But I'll tell you what it does do. It gets views. People are interested in going down these avenues, and it's a great topic of discussion. I'm going to put a cap on it here. We're not going to discuss it today on the stream. That's not what we're looking for here. But you did raise it, so I just wanted to address it very quickly. At least Jay is not as bad as John Farnham. Retiring and returning way too many times. Yeah, he did that. And the Rolling Stones have done that many times as well. Jay Boston and John Farnham could get together and do a shark tour. Old sharks. Oh, I get you. Obliques says metal. So you're not fishing for fish. You're using magnets to pick up things in lakes and stuff. Gotcha. Hendrick's in the chit chat. Good morning, Hendrick. It's nice to see you up nice and early on a weekend. How do you do, man? Chad Armstrong still very much a thing stateside. G'day, Hendrick. And Paul S in the chat. Paul S, I am Perd Beer. Oh shit, Paul S, what are you doing? You're fueling this now, aren't you? You're fueling this. You can clean your bum with water and your fingers, but don't stick them in your mouth thinking of chocolate. Oh shit. What the hell are you talking about up there? Happy Canadian. Our Prime Minister says the same thing about impulse buyers. Yeah. G'day, Jeff. Happy Canadian. We're doing Paul lies. Paul, I do like bonsai. Bonsai trees. Bonsai. Interesting. Me and my friend Duncan talked about that today, or not today. I listened to this VR where he talked about bonsai. Benny Crawford up in the chit chat. G'day, Benny. How do you do, man? Good to see you, man. Woo, Benny. So I think I'm at the end of the chat here, folks. That's a pants on head crazy. Yeah, Chad. Totally. Perdby, I'm waiting for Jay's Rosie romance arc with Rosie where he ends up making love with her in a bullet hole. Oh shit. I remember the Flat Earth guy, Matthew. You do remember that? Yeah. Benny just got back from voting, meant to start at 7 a.m. so I had to stand around with hundreds of people for over an hour. Dude, that's insane that you have to vote. Music Man, what? Up there in the chit chat with a very good question. How are you going to get more Jack Daniels if you're in lockdown? Do they deliver it? No, they don't deliver. Sorry. Yes, they do deliver. There are places. I was forgetting. I'm not in Culburra Beach now. I'm in the Big Smoke. I got many places around me that deliver liquor. So that's a good idea. I might have to get a bottle before tonight because I've got a new donation announcement that involves drinking a fifth, not a whole fifth. But folks, we'll get to. But Music Man, it's really, really lovely to see you up in the chat right here. I'm thrilled to have you here from D Live. Thank you for swinging over, man. Nice to see the same handle. You know, I love seeing the same crew with the same handle I can recognize. Mindy, Music Man, Benny. Oh, Benny's 12C, but I understand. But folks, what I want to show you here, I want to take pause. And when we come back, we're going to actually get into the topic. We're going to talk about the coronavirus and what it means for live streaming, what it means for live content creators such as me, what it means for you guys that are consuming content. I really want to open that conversation up. I want to have this deep dive into that, the concept that the coronavirus is actually favoring the live concept, right? So I want to talk about that, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And so we'll open up the call-in line as well. I'll get that ready for you guys momentarily. But before we get to that, I want to play you a clip here, and the clip is, I've got it still here. Actually, no, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll give you a brief hint of who this is. It's someone who used to be a friend of mine and someone that I still regard as a talented person, a unique person, but unfortunately the person has made a decision in their life to remove me from their life. A bad decision.
Money's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Toward Jack.
Benny Crawford with $5 toward the Jack. Thank you, Benny. Cheers, my friend. Much appreciated, dude. Thank you. Yeah, this person excommunicated me from his life, and I want to still show the support, because ultimately people can fall out, but you can still appreciate what they do. And well, this explains it anyway, and it's been run on the D Live. If you've seen the D Live, you'll know what this is, but this is the first time we're running it on the YouTube channel. It's going to take 10 minutes to roll through this. When we come back, we'll get deep into the discussion, and I'll open up the Discord call-in lines.
Welcome back to the Slightly Random Daily Song! Danny Black. Where is Danny Black? Interesting question. First of all, where am I? Well, this behind me is Botany Bay. We're in Kurnell, up in Sydney town to escape the coronavirus, or house sitting. You know the saga, you know why I'm up here. This is the second week now I'm here, and I thought it'd be nice to come down to a scenic place here. Behind me you see the city of Sydney across the water. It's not the greatest weather right now. It's a little bit hideous. The wind's a little bit, how's your uncle? And there's a little bit of rain coming down. But I'm here with Poopsie while she collects some shells. So, how can I explain Danny Black? I guess I should probably sit down for the length of this. Look, oh crike, I don't want to actually bend the CD. I got his disc here as well, The Danny Black. He calls himself The Danny Black. Now, there's a story here, but I don't feel like I really want to dig too deep into it. On a surface level, for those that don't know, this used to be a friend of mine. He's a musician. I met him through YouTube. The only connection we had was online through YouTube until we physically met, and we realized we had a heck of a lot in common and we were good friends for quite some time. We did spend a lot of time hanging out together. He took me on board a P&O cruise. He's a musician on board these P&O ships, and we had a great friendship, great unity. Thank you to YouTube. I feel like this wind is blowing my skin cancer. By the way, how clean is that these days? It's really cleaning up. But then we formed a group channel called CreatorCast amongst other creators. And the long story short, because I don't want to get too deep into that, I want to more talk about his music. But the long story short, there was a difference of opinion between some of those creators. Me being the core disagreeer, I disagreed with something, and then anyway, that caused that thing to dissolve, and then eventually, or consequently, the friendship with Danny Black ended. Now, he chose to end our friendship, not me. He said, I don't want to be friends with you. If you critique me, I don't want to hear about what I'm doing wrong from you. I want to learn that myself. And I was like, okay, that's pretty egotistical, but I didn't decide that. He decided it. Now, why am I wearing his shirt then? What would you say? What were you wearing his shirt for, dude? What's with that? Well, this shirt was one that Danny gave me close to 3 years ago. No, I feel like it was at least 2.5 years ago, and it's been at the bottom of my t-shirt pile working its way through the stack the whole time. You know, I got my t-shirt stack. Well, this is how long that's been there. He did give me another shirt, which I wore on a cruise, and that sort of ruined the stack, if you like, but this is where this fits in. That's why it's taken this long to come out. Now, like I said, he's a musician. Oh, this wind is hideous. And this is his album, The Danny Black. Music will take you everywhere. I apologize for this wind, folks. It's caning me. Music will take you everywhere. It'll bring you together and it will take you apart, right? Music brings friends together, separates friends. I still believe Danny Black is a decent man. I still believe his music hasn't changed. He's got a talent. He's a great looper. He makes great loops. Hello, Poops. What you got?
A pretty shell.
Ah, pretty shell. That's nice. Can I come and see you in about 3 minutes and 20 seconds after this Danny Black track plays? Thank you. She's got good manners, but she wanted to show me the shell. It's a crying shame the friendship died. I think that's ridiculous, but that's his choice. I want to play you a track off here. This album's kind of strange. It has no track listings on it. I think what he was doing here is trying to get people to use or get this CD to... I think he was trying to use this disc to get people to cross to his YouTube channel, because it just says original music, cover songs, and special bonus tracks. And then when you open it up entirely, it's like a collage of images. And it says, listen to the CD to get the exclusive website to see more about these photos, track info, lyrics, and much, much more. But then the trouble is, when you go to any of these URLs, they don't exist. The DannyBlack.com doesn't exist, and the YouTube channel has changed names. Facebook doesn't exist. I don't know what he's doing. It's not surprising with Danny. He starts something and then he changes it like the moment he begins it. So that's what's beautiful about a CD. This thing exists now forever. And I want to play you one of his original songs. It's called Summer. And kind of fitting too. We're in the spring, but it's raining and hideous. Let's put you guys down. I'll give you the view of the city of Sydney, and you guys can listen to Summer from Danny Black, and I'll come back to you when we're finished. I put you down here, like this. I think that's the best angel you're gonna get of Sydney. And by the way, we're under the flight path here, so you may be catching a, hey man, that's weird. There's supposed to be no planes flying due to Corona. That's really unique. There's a plane taking off. There's supposed to be no incoming or outgoing flights from Australia due to coronavirus. Either way, folks, sit back, enjoy summer from the Danny Black.
You fall down, do you know that I won't hesitate to pick you up? And if you fall down, do you know, no, I won't let you stay, 'cause every wound has got to breathe. And you know you can't shake me, 'cause I found summer hanging out the winter. It's the sunshine in the pouring rain. When you find summer, I can finally be happy, 'cause these seasons are gonna change. And if you fall down, do you know that I won't hesitate to fall back down to you? And when I get back home, you know that I will see the changes that we've gone through. 'Cause I found summer hanging out the winter. It's the sunshine in the pouring rain. When I find summer, I can finally be happy, 'cause these seasons are going to change. Oh! Every wound has got to breathe. Every song we've got to sing. Oh. 'Cause I found summer hanging out the winter. It's my sunshine in the pouring rain. When I find summer, seasons are going to change.
Wow, there you go, folks. That was a bit exciting. That was Summer from Danny Black, the Danny Black, from his album, what's it called again? Music Will Take You Everywhere. Take you I don't want to get bitter. I am a little bitter, if I'm being honest, about Danny. I think his, yeah, we've already discussed it. I'm just bitter about it. But that doesn't mean I can't enjoy the music, and doesn't mean I can't educate you on the music. If you like this sort of stuff, you will certainly like Danny Black. Perhaps your friendship with him may last longer than mine. And now while I sit down and think about friendships, music, and where is Danny Black, you guys can go back to the live stream.
Oh shit! Sorry, folks. Caught me getting carried away there, checking out the Danny Black disc. I mean, I'm still allowed to enjoy the music, aren't I? Can I not enjoy his music? The friendship's over, but I can still enjoy the physical thing that exists. That's the beauty of a disc. It's going to be here forever, right? It's going to be something that lasts longer than a friendship. In the chat, Perdbeer said, I would laugh if Danny copy strikes you. Now, if that did happen, which I wouldn't put it past Danny to do, if it did happen, what I would do, I would just physically remove the track. So you would just have a blank place in that live stream, in the rerun. It'd just be, you'd see the cover and you'd see Sydney, but you just hear nothing. That's all I'd do. Or, I mean, the alternative is to put a different song underneath there, like add some generic YouTube music. I could do that too. But there's no way I'd leave the content there and allow Danny to claim my royalties from that. I'd rather nobody hears his song than have that happen, because that's not what I wanted to do here. I wanted to get his music in front of other people. That's the whole point of those little music interludes, a slightly random daily song, is to get music that I've appreciated, that I've been involved with, in front of a new audience. That's the whole point of it. Paul S. Where's Danny Black? Playing to no one. Oh, hello, Poopsie! Poopsie's in the house! Poopsie, how are you going? What do you got here?
A Chelsea camper.
Oh, come on up. Come on
but
up.
I need to get the mermaid's house.
Oh, she's got to get the mermaid's house as well. And we've got Chelsea's camper here. Look at Chelsea's camper. This is streaming from Steven.
Look, I got the mermaid camper, and
well,
look,
this is
there's
nice.
a little pet.
Isn't this a lovely surprise?
A little unicorn pet.
A little unicorn pet. A little unicorn pet?
Yeah.
What? Really?
And look, the swing.
You got to show the stream. You got to hold it up to the stream.
Oh
Oh no!
no! The swing.
That's the swing. That's a water slide. Look at this, folks.
And look at this.
Isn't that lovely? Now, Poopsie, how about something? Do me a favor. You've got such lovely toys. Uncle Benny's live streaming to the internet. Do you want to just chill out in that room over there and play with the toys?
Over this room?
You want to go in that room? Okay, whichever room you want. I don't mind, but I just don't think we can be having the toys here the whole time.
Okay.
There you go.
I'll do one at a time.
We'll do one at a time. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. What a lovely girl. Once we can continue our discussion, and I just want to wrap that Danny Black thing up and then move into the topic of discussion. There you go. There's the vehicle. And don't forget the beautiful water slide swing set combination. Water goes down here, slides down, lands in the bathtub.
No, they go down there and then they land in here.
Oh, no. They go down there and they land in here. Okay. Thanks, Poops.
You're welcome.
There you go, folks. So, yeah, Danny, I want to get his music in front of more people. That's the point of having this slightly random daily song, and not just for him. It's for every band, and it's for the bands that I've got T-shirts or some story related to. So that's why I do that. But if Danny did copy strike me, I would let you guys know. Definitely, I'd probably do a daily vlog about it. I think it'd be comical. I wouldn't. If someone asked me, do you think he would? I would say. There's more than 50% chance that he would, but not a huge, like I'd say there's 65% chance that he would copy strike me. I don't think he would do it. More than half of me thinks that he would, but a fair amount of me thinks, nah, he's not that stupid. He's not that petty. But, I mean, I didn't think of that. I'm going to be honest. I didn't consider it. I guess I was actually thinking more about the algorithm flagging it, picking it up. Like if Danny's got this stuff on like iTunes, which I have all my music, that goes through route note, and that automatically flags everything from picking up anywhere. So I thought if Danny had this on there, that's kind of what I checked first, if I'm being honest. I before I run any of these clips, I upload them as a separate clip to YouTube and just see if the algorithm picks anything up, and it didn't. So I was thinking, well, Danny hasn't put this on. Danny hasn't released this anywhere. It's not like an official release. It's nicely packaged, but no track names, no nothing. It's like I said, it's like a placeholder to get you to go to his websites, which ironically they're all gone as well. Either way, whereas Danny Black, Paul S says, Perd Beer, then he says playing to no one. Well, he's not playing much at the moment because of the coronavirus. Perd Beer says the percussion is done terribly. The percussion? I didn't think the percussion was that bad. I thought that the trumpet noise was terrible, but the percussion didn't seem bad to me. I thought it was well done. Chad Armstrong says Perd Beer and Paul are both Danny Black. Now there's definitely that. There's a possibility that anyone from that crew could be here under a different handle. I'm not denying that. I personally could not bother myself to set up a separate account and go into someone else's stream. But if that's what's happening here, I mean, fine. That's a way for you guys to check up on me if you wanted to, if that's what you want to do. The other way is just to come in and be a man about it. But if you wanted to go with a different handle, then that's up to you. I wouldn't do it though. Hendrik says, nailed it. Tim says, there's no denying Danny Black is a talented musician, singer, and a producer. Danny's got an interesting vocal, I think. His vocal, it's kind of limited. He's got a very hang on, I better be careful here because I don't want to be critiqued by you. I want to find things out myself, so I'll just be quiet. But I agree with that statement to a point. Plot twist, I'm actually Rosie the Shark Perd Beer. Oh shit. Paul, Danny Black should lose weight, whack on a big mullet wig, and become a Richard Marx tribute act if he wants to make a quid. I haven't seen him for over a year, but I don't think he's overweight, is he? Matthew, I have a few pics of the trails, fresh water springs, and some other parts of the property as well. Oh, you put them up on the D-Live, on the Discord? Thank you, Matthew. That'd be nice to see, man. Poopsy's here. Now for the real talent, Benny. What's up, Poopsy? Mindy says, Poopsy, with an ice cream. Mayunas, wow! Wrong channel, wrong platform. By the way, I've got a bit of a headache now. Far out, what's going on with that? It is on Apple Music. That's how you is this album on Apple Music? That's interesting. I wonder how he put it up there then, because it means that he hasn't got a big piece of spit on the lens. It means that he hasn't gone through a distributor. Because I've got all of that some materials on YouTube, on Apple Music and Spotify and Amazon and all the streaming services, Pandora, all of that's but that's gone through a distributor, and that automatically blacklists any of the social sites to play them. So if you ever use a That's track in a video, you'll get a copy strike. It won't be from me. It'll be from my distributor through Route Note or Route Note. As long as you don't accuse me of being the Tonight boy. Classic. Ah, that's funny. Old mate Creaky, the man with the viral DNA. How many viral videos does he have? I gotta tell you, it starts with none and ends with none. How can someone make a living portraying to be the man with the answer to how to be viral on YouTube when they've never been viral on YouTube? That's almost more of a crime than making 15 videos on Rosie the freaking Shark. But folks, let's move into the topic of conversation here. What I want to talk about is how the coronavirus is directly affecting this kind of thing, live streaming. I've seen so many people go to do live broadcasts on Facebook, mainly Facebook. Not a lot of crew are coming across and beginning a YouTube channel, probably because YouTube changed the requirements to be able to do that. But in this time of social distancing and physically removing yourself from your sphere and your sector of people and your local community, you've removed yourself, but you still want to interact with them. How is that being done? Very obviously, it's being done through live streaming. We've seen so many celebrities go out and do live content of their own. Let's go across to here and have a little look. This news report from NBCnews.com. Celebrities flock to Instagram Live to entertain fans during coronavirus social distancing. How many big name celebrities have done live streams, whether it be a band getting together with their members through separate areas, like joining, like a Zoom chat or a Google Hangouts, and they're all in different windows, but they're all performing. We just this morning, you probably don't know this band, but a band that we toured with, we opened for them in 2011, a band from Sweden called the Royal Republic. They have an album called We Are the Royal, and we were on that tour as the opening band. And they did a live stream this morning, 9 years later, 9 years later, celebrating that album. And they did it, sadly, they did the wrong thing. They all performed together as a band, which was wrong. And there was crew from the venue doing the thing as well. But they performed this whole record live to Facebook in a venue with nobody in the venue. That's one example. We've seen Chris Martin from Coldplay get out on his piano and just start playing some songs, taking requests, literally reading the chat and getting requests from fans. Who else have we seen up there? I've got a list of celebrities here that have done this. Miley Cyrus down here, she's done it. Now, unfortunately, we can't play any of these. Oh, hello, Pipsy. How are you? We've got a guest here again. How you going? Are you coming up? Oh, she's climbing up. What? Look at that. How you doing? Nicely climbed up. We've seen so many celebrities doing this.
My plait needs to be out.
Oh, your plait needs to be out. Whoa, it's come out. Now it's on your head. Whoopsie. Paul S. says he's not overweight. He got to look like Richard Marx. His voice is very, very similar. That's kind of what I was getting at with Danny. He's got a very definitive vocal range, and it's kind of stuck in one sort of spot. And it works for certain things, not everything. You heard Garth Brooks was doing a live stream show. Really, that would be the first live he's done, aside from his welcome to Facebook
Guess
video.
what?
Well, what?
I
felt-
thought that our hairband here.
You've got to look up here, Poopsie, and say hello to the chat. No, not down here. Up here. Up here. Don't look. You always look down there. Now look like this. There, in there. And say hello, chat. Are you chicken? There was a message to you in the chit. Mindy in the chit chat says, Poopsie, and she put see the ice cream there? That's for you. That's from Mindy. So say thank you, Mindy.
Thank you, Mindy.
There you go. Nice.
That one's coming out.
Oh, you better take those out. You better hop down now and go back to playing. Oh, and clobber me in the face. Ah. Happy Canadian says Alan Doyle, who is the lead singer of The Great Big Sea, has been doing a mini show and taking donations for charity. So we're seeing this more and more from celebrities that are jumping on to live. Now, it's a great time to already be a live streamer. I've personally been doing live daily on DLive since April last year. April 16 I began. Now I've missed a bunch of days. Mindy says you're welcome. I've missed a bunch, maybe 20 days in totes from other things or whatever, but having built a community based around live streaming, we as live content creators, we're already above the curve, if you like. What can we do though? What should we do to maximize this? Like what could I be doing as a live content creator to maximize this new surge in live content? There's been a few setbacks already. I want to talk about the negatives first. The negatives are both YouTube and Netflix have reduced their resolutions that are available. So I broadcast in 1080p. Now, prior to the coronavirus, you would automatically be flagged, or not flagged, your stream would automatically flick to a 1080p stream if you have the bandwidth and the internet to accommodate it. Now they've lowered it to 720 being the norm. So 720 is the norm, even though I'm broadcast this. You might not even be watching this stream in 1080. I'm broadcasting in 1080, but you will only be able to see it in 720 unless you physically change it. Now, I'm not saying you can't see this in 1080, and if I was broadcasting in 4K as well, I'm not saying you can't see that, but at this point, the default, and the reason they've done this is because more and more people are going to be using the bandwidth because everyone's at home. So that's one negative. The Netflix crew, they reduced their streaming service. I've got to sneeze here, folks. Very professional. I got to turn my freaking head here and let one out, I think. It's one of those ticklies. Excuse me. So Netflix, they reduced their streaming rate, and so you can't stream it in 4K. You can only stream in, I think they've gone to 1080. So the question is, and by the way, you know what we should do? Let's open up the chat line. I've just put a little link in the chit chat, and I'll open up Discord too. I don't think I'm on there yet. If you want to call in and you want to have a discussion about this, the link is in the chit chat. Let me know, or not let me know, but just come into Discord. By clicking that link, you come into the Discord. You can have a conversation with me about what you think this change in the world and the live content is. How can we as streamers capitalize, maximize, and get something out of this? It's a selfish way to be because this is a negative time on the whole planet, but there are some positives to be gained from it. And if we're seeing people like Chris Martin, Coldplay, Miley Cyrus, all the celebrities, all of a sudden they're taking live streams and they're looking at their chat and talking with their fans, well, can we somehow leverage that? Can we somehow get into, you know, could I do a stream where I host Miley Cyrus, or could I do a stream where I host Chris Martin? Or, you know, hey, you guys want to do live content? Well, we've already been doing it. We've been doing this forever. So you want to come on and we want to show you how it's done? I'm getting people ask me, you do the YouTube live, how do you do that? Okay, you want me to talk you all the way through it because it's a fairly lengthy process. The best thing I say is get your phone out and just hit go live. You don't even need software at that level. Okay, folks, I am in the Discord here. I'll jump in there just in case anyone else jumps in. I'm in there right now. And if someone else comes in, you just jump in. Make sure you're wearing headphones. Make sure you mute the stream in the background. And then when you come in, make sure you don't have the delay. Like if you're watching my stream and you're hearing my stream, there'll be an awful delay from the microphone you hear and the microphone we hear. So just to acknowledge that may happen. And it's called the GAM. It's called the Gives a Minute YouTube call-in line if you wanted to call in. You don't have to call in, but if you wanted to, you can. A rosy live stream, Perd Beer. Perd Beer says, oh no, coronavirus. Benny says, so many working from home. There is talk of internet rationing. Not sure how well this will affect live streaming. That's the question I've got. If the streaming services are changing their bandwidth defaults to download a stream, so don't forget what we're doing right now, what I'm doing right now is uploading a stream. But if the streaming services are downsampling their return feed, doesn't that naturally dictate that the upstreams will also be affected some way, some form? Now, I'm up here at the Benny Flat where the internet is arguably worse than what I have back at Culburra Beach. In Culburra Beach, I use my 4G connection and it's not rock solid, but the speed is more consistently fast. The NBN fluctuates up and down. Sometimes I do a speed test and I'm on like 12 megabits a second. Other times it jumps up to 38 megabits a second. So it's never consistent. Whereas my 4G, the speed's always the same, but it sometimes drops out because it's a physical. Well, it's not a physical. It's going through the airwaves to the tower. So what I'm wondering is, are telecommunications companies in Australia? There's two of them, Optus and Telstra. Are they going to start restricting the use of 4G? The further we move into this coronavirus, and will that affect my outgoing streams? It's a very real consideration I've got to take into play. People that are never live stream, people that work in an office, people that usually have to sit down with 20 other crew in a room, they're all doing it online. All schools are swapping to online, even though our government keeps the school physically open. The actual learning is done online. So you've got kids learning in a classroom, sitting in front of their computer with all the other students, possibly on a Zoom chat or whatever it is, a Google Hangouts. All that bandwidth, all of that extra usage has to put a massive amount of pressure on the networks. Unfortunately, g'day Graham, by the way, Graham H in the chat, hoi hoi. Unfortunately, in this country, we had the opportunity a while ago to set up a network, an internet infrastructure that would be able to sustain this. But unfortunately, we didn't actually go ahead with that. And so what we're going to be seeing soon, if not very soon, the networks are going to be falling over. There's not going to be the facility to take all of this extra bandwidth because the networks just can't handle it. We did have that choice, and we as a populace said, no, we'll just use the crappy one, we'll be fine. And now, and it's a shame that it's taken this virus to get to this point, but it's going to prove that we needed to future-proof ourselves with a better internet infrastructure. The more kids that are online school learning, the more kids that are staying home, the more businesses that are going to be using live content as their delivery method, it's going to fall itself over. There's no one. It never worked to begin with when it even had the less pressure on it. Now we've got so much more going through it. Graham says, cheers, bird beer, thanks. Who's Rupert? No, not Rupert Murdoch. No. We're talking about our government that decided, or that got elected and then rolled out the lousy, what they call MTM, mixed technology mode internet. So if you want to get into the nuts and bolts of it, we need to have a fiber connection to your premise. That's the whole planet knows this. Go and look at New Zealand. They know this. They did that. We didn't. We chose a mixed technology model where we've got a mix of fiber and a mix of copper. And just the other day, my sister, my niece Claudia, she has to do a dance lesson, right? So she's a dancer. She goes to dance classes in the evening. Well, instead of going to the physical class, that dance lesson is now done online. So she sets her laptop up on the side, gets in the position. The teacher talks to her. Oh, okay, we're going to go on toes here. We're going to go on bar, and all of that's done through up and down internet, up service, down service. All of that takes way more bandwidth. I'm live streaming to DLive, and I see my stream quality drop because Claudia's using it to do her ballet. And it's like, well, she's got to do that. You know, I can't stop her doing it. Just like I can't stop the person next door who all of a sudden needs to stream their job. Did you get those TPS reports done? And they get online showing them, yeah, I've got that TPS report. I've got this TPS report, and I'm gonna scan those, and I'll take a photo with my cell phone, my handy, and I'll send them to you. And then all of that stuff, right? That never existed before. But what we're seeing is people coming on saying we need to be online. How can we get online? Well, Australia, good luck with that, huh? It's kind of ironic, isn't it? It's ironic that it's taken a virus for the planet, or for the country to go, okay, yeah. And I haven't done this yet, by the way, but I'm banking on the fact that there will be reports. The headline will read something like this: Corona pandemic, worldwide pandemic proves local internet, proves bad decision on local infrastructure. Something like that to do with, it'll be like the fact that this was a global pandemic, Australia suffered terribly from it because of our poor internet. And that proves that we chose the wrong choice when we chose to elect the government that was going to do the MTM. Graham, 5G MIMO saturation with a fiber backbone is the goal, not fiber to the premise. 5G MIMO saturation with a fiber backbone is the goal. I mean, that sounds great. That sounds great to me. That's a long way off, though. Hello, Poopsie. Speaking of a long way off, how are you?
Good.
What do you got there? You're gonna show. You got to show the camera up here, right? Ooh, what's that one?
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Can I show Chelsea? Can I say Chelsea? Say hi, Chelsea. Hi, Chelsea. Oh, there you go. Chelsea. And she's got a brush there too, huh?
Yeah, to brush her hair.
Ooh, crikey. She's got knots in there. Wow. Looks as bad as Boris, the Prime Minister of the England. But what's his name? Boris Becker? No, not Boris Becker. Poopsie. What's happening?
Her mermaid doesn't want to go in the ocean because she's a human.
The mermaid doesn't want to go into the ocean because she's a human. The irony was he knifed Turnbull anyway. The irony is, in terms of this fibre to the premise rollout that should have taken place, the irony is what we have now as the NBN is so more expensive than what the actual fibre rollout would have been. And we're still, what did they say, another 16 billion to complete it? 16 billion to complete this lousy network, which will not sustain our needs. We're getting the clear example of that right now. People can't access their normal services because way more people are streaming. Firewolf Studios, hello, I'm new here. Well, hello, Firewolf Studios. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. So, what do you think? Am I missing something here? Is there a way that I should be... Wrong way to word that. Should I change my content? Should I change my content up to adapt to this? There's more people online, so therefore there's more of an audience. We've just got a new person coming into the chat right now. Matthew, where should I post the pics to? In the Discord, there's a section called Gives Yourself. Matthew, in the Discord, it's called, I can show it to you. I'm in the Discord right now. Let me get rid of that purple bar. Let's make this a little larger so you guys can see it. This is the Discord server, Gives a Minute. Once you are in there, is that looking, make that full screen. Oh, that doesn't go full screen. Interesting. Once you're in there, there's a server over here called Gives Yourself. Now in there at the moment, Torex has put some stuff. Lil Assassin always pumps her own stuff. Chin Marie's put some stuff. But yeah, that's called Gives Yourself, and that's kind of what it sounds like. It's a place where you can give, you can promote yourself. Benny, tax hoarding governments doing everything cheap with the internet and cutting services for 9 years for an ego-driven surplus that never arrived. Now we have crap internet, and not everyone has it. That's the other thing. We don't. It's not even. It's the government was mandated to provide high. This is what Minister Mitch Fifield, the communications minister. This is his ad nauseum speech. Well, we've been mandated to provide the. We've been mandated by 2020 to provide the whole country with high-speed internet, and that's what we're working towards achieving. And he just kept saying that we've been mandated by 2020 to provide 97% of the country with access to high-speed internet, and that's what we're doing. High speed, and the speed that they're saying is high speed, as we know, are not high speeds. Tim, I heard a complaint on the radio of people in a suburb who had their internet cut off from Dodo without warning, as the NBN is now in their suburb. They never received any notice to connect to NBN. I mean, I don't know about the specifics of that, but if you've been given an NBN service, you naturally, your ADSL service that used to come in on that line gets cut off after a certain period of time. If you haven't activated an NBN service, that's what's going to happen. There's supposed to be a time frame between those two things happening, and there's supposed to be enough things put into it. Like there's supposed to be enough mail outs and phone calls before it happens. But if you're saying people don't have that access, then that's a shame. What speed do you need to live stream? Now, Benny, there's a question there. What speed do you need to stream? Now, are you talking about upstreaming or downstreaming? Because a lot of people get that confused. Like you hear people talking about, I can stream fine. I can watch Netflix on my ADSL connection. So that's streaming downstreaming. Or are you talking about upstreaming, like what I'm doing now, live broadcasting? Because at that point, you're going to need at least between 35 to 40 megabits a second. But critically, it needs to be a constant connection. You don't want to see fluctuations. Now, The NBN is known to be dropping up, down, up and down, up and down. This is, I'm seeing it here. This drops repeatedly, drops right down, bumps right back. It's almost as bad as the 4G connection. Now, what I want to do on my live streams, and I'm looking to do this sort of soon, I'd like to be able to have extra people come in, right? I want to have picture in picture with a guest. So it'll be me here and someone else there for the whole stream. Now, I don't want to do that with a shitty, lousy, jerky, low frame rate, blocky, terrible audio, Skype. I don't want it to be CreatorCast. I want it to be clean, clear, nicely presented. You can't do that with the internet, with the NBN that we have. You're going to need a 40 megabit up. You're going to need a 100 megabit down minimum. And that's just for one guest. You start broadcasting, and by the way, you'd probably want to drop down your outgoing stream to 720 at that point. If you want to do it in 1080 and 30, or heaven forbid, 4K, could you imagine me broadcasting in 4K? I've got all the facility here to broadcast in 4K except for one thing, the outgoing stream, the outgoing internet. I don't have the capability to do that. You've all got 4K televisions. Could you imagine seeing the Gives a Minute YouTube or the Gives a Minute D Live in 4K? Beautiful, big, clean, crystal clear. Forget about it. Just can't be done. Can't be done. Firewolf Studios. I went into a Metro by T-Mobile store and they were trying to price gouge me. I asked for a mask to protect myself from COVID and they tried to charge me $10 for a hospital mask. I'm not sure what the cost of these masks is in general, but that does seem relatively, I mean, for one mask, $10. I'd say you'd probably be able to get a pack of 3 or 4 for about $10. Graham, my sister and brother-in-law had ADSL cut with no NBN available. Really? Holy shit, that's exactly what Tim's saying. So this does happen. Telstra told them months ago that they were working to fix the issue, told them to go out and buy a dongle. The irony of that, they'll get a better speed on the dongle, assuming they're in a lousy area, which like we are in Culborough Beach, fiber to the node. They'll get a better service and a better speed if they do buy that freaking dongle. It's still not fixed. How long ago has that been going on for, Graham? Benny says, I've got NBN. It's only 23 up. See, 23 up is fine, but it needs to be constant 23 up. 23 up is good. 23 up's going to satisfy you if you're going to broadcast in 720, maybe 1080, 30 frames a second. Fractions of a cent. In Blacksland, up in the mountains. Interesting. Perdbeer, they say masks are not that helpful to protect healthy people anyway. Yeah. See, I've heard that too. The mask, the idea of the mask, the reason the mask doesn't work is because when you have something over your face like this, as soon as you speak, you're instantly putting moisture into that mask. And the moisture makes the actual mask almost, in effect, translucent. So the virus can move through moisture. So if there's moisture on the inside of the mask, there's moisture on the outside. So therefore, the virus can maneuver its way straight through that, like that. 4.6 on the other measure. 4.6. Benny, what's the other measure? You did it. So you did a speed test and you had 23 up, and then the next time you did a speed test, you had 4.6 up. We can do that right now, folks. Let's do a speed test here on my channel. Let's go across to here and do a speed test. I always go to test my internet. I thought it was called test my net. Testmy.net. This is what I do. And I go to upload and I test my upload speed. Now we'll see what happens here. So 1 point, it's going up. So this is sending packets to the server based on the speed that it sees that connection is. So I got 30.2 there. Now these here, where's my, I'm actually logged in. Oh no, I'm not logged in here because I'm on Firefox. I thought they were my previous results. If I retested that, so 30.2, let's do a quick retest and see what happens. Mindy says masks help, but you need to wear goggles too because it's airborne, but soap and water is best. So I've dropped down by 10 megabits a second right there. So that's now 26 megabits. So if we do another test, this is what I'm saying, how inconsistent this is, right? You got a 3.7 upload speed, Benny. That's not going to be enough, dude. 24. Let's go again. 26. So we went from 38 down to 26 to 28 to 20. Very inconsistent. Very, very inconsistent. Now, Music Man says, check your Discord, see if voice chat works. I'm actually in the Discord right now, dude. Let me just make sure I can see you. No, I can't see you in there, my friend. I'm in the Discord right now. I'll show you. I'll go across here. This is the Discord. Oh, I see the photos here. This looks nice, man. RJ Team. RJ Team? Hang on. Matthew, you're RJ Team? There you go. Some nice photos here. Looks like a nice piece of countryside you've got there, my friend. Can I just go with the arrow keys here? No, I can't. That's I wish Discord let me just scroll down with the arrow keys. Oh, sorry, shit, Matthew, are you okay with me broadcasting these? I guess, I mean, you put them on an internet server, so I guess you are. But Music Man, I can't see you in the Gives a Minute YouTube call-in line. I'm in there right now myself. I can't see you. But Matthew, are you okay with me broadcasting these? If you are, let us know. Yeah, Benny, sorry, man. 3.7 megabits a second up. It's not going to be enough, dude. Arguably, you may be able to do a 720 stream. I'd definitely, if you were gonna stream, I would definitely be using 720 variable bit rate. That's my recommendation. If you were, hey Music Man, I can see you there now, but I see you don't have a microphone. I see you in the Discord, but I see you don't have a microphone. Yeah, that'd be my recommendation to you, Benny. If you've got a speed of 3.7, I would definitely suggest streaming in 720p, and I would choose a variable bit rate, and fluctuate the bit rate from about, push it from say 1 through to 4, and just in case, you know, you got 3.7 now, but it may jump up to 4.5, and if you set the variable limit from 1 through to, maybe even if you set it from 1 through to 5, at least you're going to fall somewhere in between there. I don't know what that means. Okay, so so just in regards to streaming, are you going to be using software to stream, or are you going to just like...
How about now, Giz?
Oh, there you go, Music Man. Music Man's up in the chit chat. How you going, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
I see you there. This is Music Man, folks, up in the... Hey, can you hear me clear and well?
Yeah, it's a little bit weird seeing you on the screen and then in the cans. So
yeah, I bet it is. Well, welcome to the show, man. What are your thoughts on this new pandemic of people live streaming?
I've been loving the creativity of everybody doing parodies on the virus, parodies on being quarantined, and parodies on running out of dunny rolls and toilet paper.
That is pretty funny. I know there's been a lot of cool stuff that we're seeing from people, like people that you wouldn't expect to have that kind of creative bone in them, and they've come up with some crackers. What have been your favorites?
Oh, the Ballad of the Dunny Roll.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's some My Sharona.
I've seen that, My Corona. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then Bohemian Rhapsody was a really good one, the one I most recently saw.
Unfortunately, we can't play them here. I would love to be able to just play them as we talk about them, but YouTube being YouTube, there's no way that would fly. So, I mean, maybe we can look into that on the D Live later on tonight. And I know you said you might not be able to make it, but it's
yeah. There's tons of people are making more and more. You just keep search on any of those topics, and the parodies just pop up. It used to just be like Weird Al would have, that would be the main parody line, but now everybody's doing it.
Yeah, that's true. I remember him doing like he did Eat It when Michael Jackson was going #1 with Beat It and from Thriller. I remember that. What else did he do? He did Like a Surgeon when Madonna was kicking off with Like a Virgin. I remember that one. Funny stuff.
Fantastic. But yeah, so I guess people are, taking it all in stride. Might as well be creative and have a little fun if you're stuck,
Yeah.
And it's a way to network with everybody.
What's
to post
what's
it up on
lockdown
YouTube.
what's lockdown looking like for you? How are you handling this?
I'm staying in. I haven't gone anywhere in 5 days. So luckily, I've got a sister that does the grocery runs, so she's bringing stuff by the house,
That's handy.
and but it's weird that like steak is available, but there's no chickens. You know, the milk and the eggs that flow has to go. They can't shut the cows off, so
Wow.
those kind of things are staying around. But usually, if something's out, you just kind of wait, and when you see the delivery truck headed up to the grocery store, that's when you get in the line.
Huh. So you physically see the truck coming into the store, and that's when you go up to line up to get your stuff.
Yeah, you can see them pulling around back or waiting in the parking lot. You just kind of, you know, that's the best time to go in there.
Wow. Without doxing yourself, whereabouts on the planet are you? Just give a very general area.
The Rocky Mountains.
Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
And what kind of shutdowns have you got? Are your schools closed?
Yeah, everything's shut down. They just put a new total lockdown unless you're essential, which is funny. But if you're with a soap manufacturer, you're essential, so you get a piece of paper to show the cops if you get stopped.
Oh, wow. See, our government, our Prime Minister made an announcement where he said, and this is another contradiction from him. On one occasion, he said what you just said, only essential employment is to remain open. Everything else is to shut. And then the very next day, he made a speech where he said, every person in Australia with a job is considered essential. So if you have a job, you're an essential employee. So you need to be at work. It's like, dude, you just said only essential services should remain open. So which is it? Such confusing language to deliver. And I think he even realized that he'd messed up at that point, because people were saying, so who are the essential who's the essential services that should remain open? And he said, if you have a job, go to work. Very confusing.
I guess if you need a piece of paper like a visa to get around, but I'm sure people are going to think of loopholes. I mean, I don't think they want to be arresting people. I know in the UK they're threatening to fine you if you cough on somebody even, and I guess Boris Johnson, the PM of the UK, has it now.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I woke up to that news that he's got a mild case of it, and he's in lockdown. And there's another example of someone who's now going to be doing all of his work through live. Everything that he does will be via an upstream live. So I'm actually I'm chuffed to be selfish about it. I'm kind of excited by it, because we've not seen a time in my life anyway that everybody is forced to do something with a live stream. It's kind of unique, really.
It's about time. I used to work for the United States Antarctic program. So we had some instruments at the South Pole where it's 50 below Fahrenheit out there, and people would freeze their fingers off. So I set up a CUC-Me, that's the old Macintosh live scanning, and we put those CUC-Me on the instruments. So it's basically live streamed. And then the guys at the South Pole were freaking out because now you don't need them there. So because you could live stream it all the way back to North America to watch the instruments. So I've been streaming forever. I was one of the first to do a video teleconference from an airplane. The telephones on the back of the seats, I actually hooked that up and did live streaming from that. So it was funny because they had a special every Monday. You could use the phones on the back of the seat for free. Of course, nowadays the airplanes have Wi-Fi, but this technology has been around quite a long time. So this is making it mainstream.
Go back a little to the Antarctic program. What kind of technology were you streaming? Like, what was the signal? How was the outgoing signal sent? Satellite?
Oh, we found there are a bunch of disabled, archaic satellites floating around. Some of them are as slow as 4,800 baud. That's dial-up modem speed.
Ooh.
And it takes quite a bit of time. But if you do it in the proper resolution, live streaming really doesn't take a whole lot of bandwidth. It's when you amp it up to higher quality and stereo kind of bit rates.
Yep.
But if you're just looking at the face of an instrument, you can do it at pretty low bit rate and still get a pretty good, get the information that you need. You don't need 30 frames a second for a lot of that stuff.
I'd agree with that. And I guess that's my downfall, trying to deliver a quality stream, what I consider to be the quality. And I fought with that because I never had the bandwidth to do it. I probably could have started live streaming 2.5 years ago, and I could have done a 720 24p stream, a 24 frames a second stream, and use lousy microphones. But I knew if I wanted to do it, it had to be something. I wanted to do 4K originally, and I was like, okay, I'll come back down to 1080 for the sacrifice. But you're dead right. If you're willing to forego some quality and you don't have the bandwidth, you can get away with, and especially if it's just looking at the front of an instrument, for sure.
What's funny is the professional newscasters that are going on now in the entertainment shows that are talking about the
Music
coronavirus.
Man, I'm sorry I got to cut in here, dude. I can hear you still talking. I'm really sorry to cut you off, but I can hear my outro music rolling. I want to say thank you for calling in, but unfortunately, this thing has a time limit. 96 minutes was the time limit tonight or today.
Oh, that's we're out of time.